Transcending history and the world, a tale of souls and swords, eternally retold. Soul Calibur 2.
Fuck, yo, man, that opening is so good. How's it going, people? It's Fairman Spicy here, and it's really loud. Hold on, it's really, 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 really loud, actually. I've got some new headphones here, and I'll probably boost that later. And it's really like strong, like, you know, like whatever high quality sound, and it's like, wow, it's blasting in there, especially since the way I use fucking sound for my monitor here is like directly plugged into the monitor, and it has no like volume settings. So I'm pretty sure it's defaulted to highest, and if it's too low, well, you know, I'll probably get it anyway. Whatever, regardless, welcome to Plug and Play Let's Play Soul Calibur 2, as you can see on the title screen, and the narrator is like, Rrr. So this game came out in 2003, 2003, I want to say. And this is, as you can see, this is the HD online version, which came out about last year, I want to say. This may seem a bit odd, because, you know, I do the fighting game LPs, because I do not know why, because I like the fighting games. It's just what I do, and, you know, as most of you will probably know, I like to play the Tekkens, because that's probably my favorite fighting game series for a lot of reasons. But before there was Tekken, before I was the Lei Wulong, before I was the martial law guy, I was the Soul Calibur guy. And I don't know why. I think it's just because, like, when I was young, I liked fantasy, and who doesn't like sword fighting? If you don't like sword fighting, well, yeah, well, you're a scrub lord. Regardless, this game was really popular at the time. I grew up on Soul Calibur and Tekken, although for some reason I stopped playing Tekken after 4, and then I just kept playing Soul Calibur. So this game kind of has like an important, what you would call it. I guess it has an important place for me nostalgically and quality-wise. Pretty much it's unanimous among the Soul Calibur community that this is the best Soul Calibur out of the 6 games in the genre. Now you're like, wait, 6 games? There's no fucking, there's only 5 Soul Caliburs. Like, now this Soul Blade, which is like / Soul Edge, which is Soul Calibur like 0, I guess you could say. And this game was probably the best mechanics. It was probably the fastest Soul Calibur wise, and it's had some of the best music. It had a great, like, this Weapon Master, like, offline campaign, like, single player mode. Costumes are great, the music is great, story's pretty good too. This is the height of Soul Calibur's popularity. It's unfortunate because these days, Soul Calibur is really one of the lesser fighting games. Really, like one of the least popular fighting games out there. The community for it, while still there, is very niche and very small. At least here in the United States. I know it was really popular in Europe, especially in France. France is some of the best Soul Calibur players. And I've been playing the series since Soul Calibur 1, and you would think, like, oh, well, why don't I start with Soul Calibur 1? Well, it's because this game is just really, like, Soul Calibur 1, but, like, way better. Honestly, it's just... I mean, the story is, of course, a continuation, but, I mean, I'd rather spend my time doing an LP of this game rather than doing Soul Calibur 1, because the Soul Calibur 1 isn't as good as this, because this game is much more refined. Now, before I begin, I have to apologize in advance, as in I will get things wrong inevitably, because it has been a very long time since I've touched Soul Calibur. Ever since I started playing Tekken Tag Tournament 2, I went away from Soul Calibur. Especially, I also started playing Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 a while, well, not even Ultimate, just regular Marvel, and that was around the time I stopped playing Soul Calibur. I started playing Soul Calibur seriously in 4, so obviously my knowledge of the older games, even though I played them, is gonna be not that great. So I guess let's get into it. Let me just check all the settings. The sound's all good. I set that low enough. Display settings, let's see, and just display. Nah, that's fine. See, one of the bad things about this game that I really don't like, you cannot change it to the Japanese audio, which is very unfortunate because I think the Japanese dub of this game is great, especially fucking Nightmare, where it's fucking Link's voice actor from Ocarina of Time, where he does a he does all that, and it's like Nightmare. So it's like, what if Link could talk? That's basically Nightmare, and it's godlike. Now, I'm not the best at this game, but we're gonna give it a shot. I don't even know. At one point, I guess I could play the game at this level, and we're gonna see if I can still do that. I don't know if I can, but we're gonna see if I can. If I can, I'm probably gonna bump it down to just very hard. I guess enough fucking around the menu. Let's start playing the actual game. Now I'm gonna do this a lot like I do the Soul Calibur. I mean the Tekken Let's Plays or any fighting game Let's Plays I do is I'm just gonna go through the arcade until I unlock every character, and then I'm gonna do Weapon Master, which for Tekken would have been Tekken Force, which is a very long campaign. So you might be in this one for a while, folks. Now you would think, as an avid Bruce Lee fan, I would play Maxi, and believe it or not, he was who I wanted to play, and who I did play in my younger years. But much like Lei Wulong, he's one of the harder characters in the game because he is a mix-up based character. He has a lot of stances, and actually, unlike Lei Wulong, a lot of them are really subtle. You can't really tell if you're in them or not, and there's a lot of transitions. So he's hard, and bad, from what I understand. So, we will go with my actual main, which is Nightmare / Sigfrido, and you can use this fucking costume, the best fucking costume ever. Yeah, the end. So, that's a good song, Guided by the Wind. Yo, Filipino, though. Tamashio Serune, whatever it says in Japan. It's Talim! Fucking not Filipino Scrub Lord. Okay, so you can block that. Okay, so I don't know if I can be able to explain the mechanics of this game in time while I'm fighting, or the story. I don't know which one I'll explain first. Oh, the trophy, thanks. Oh, nice. So I guess I'll explain the mechanics first. So Soul Calibur is a 3D fighter, much like Tekken, Dead or Alive, or the lesser well-known Virtual Fighter. You can run in 8 directions. Unlike Tekken, the difference here is that the movement is a lot more fluid, in that you can move in 8 directions instead of 4 like you can in Tekken. Bring out! Oh wow, that was bullshit. There are 3 levels of attack like in Tekken. There are highs, mids, lows, and special mids, which is basically a mid and a low, although it counts more like a mid. Hold on, I gotta win this. I will. Oh no! I will also do the same thing as my Tekken 3 Let's Play, or Tekken 4 Let's Play rather, where if I lose too much, I will cut it so we're not sitting here forever. One of the things about this game, oh, it's a bathroom throw? No. Is that it's very similar to Tekken, but I could explain it as in it's a much more fluid Tekken, as in movement is a lot more free, and it feels a lot faster, although the animations are very recognizable, so it's not as hard to block in this game as it is in Tekken. Yeah, whatever. You need my souls. There are five types of attacks. There are your horizontals, your physical attacks, or I guess you say unarmed attack, which is kicks. There are your vertical attacks, and there are your throws. So I guess that's 4 types. Sorry. It's not notated as, let's see if I can explain this while Keelik's trying to kick my ass. Oh my god, no I can't. It's notated as in a keypad formation, so the directions are like 6-6, or at 6 is forward, 4 is back, 2 is down, 8 is up, 9 is diagonal up right, and 1 is diagonal back, and down back left, and you could, you know, guess that. The attacks is A is horizontal attacks, which would be square on PS3, I guess. Triangle is vertical attacks, which would be B, and I'm losing. Let's see if I can do some throws. Oh yeah. K is kicks, and throws are, oh yeah, guard. There's a guard button in this game, unlike Tekken. I think Mortal Kombat and DOA are the only games that have block buttons. Actually, I don't even think DOA has a block button. I'm not really sure about that. Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking die. And that's pretty much the mechanics for you. It's got pretty much the same mechanics in Tekken as turns the ground. There's a lot more emphasis on tech traps in this game, as opposed to Tekken. It's a lot easier to get off the ground in this game than in Tekken. For example, in Tekken, you can do a lot of tech rolls when you hit the ground. In this game, you can even do it more so than that game. And one mechanic that you can do is when you see an attack coming, you can press forward guard or back guard to guard impact, and it's basically a parry. Basically a parry, and that's easier than I thought it would be. And when you parry them with a GI like we're doing right here, the next you have advantage frames, and you will be able to act faster than your opponent. The only thing your opponent can do is either block, or they can try to guard impact back. Actually, I'm not even sure if they can block. I don't think they can block. Depends on the move that you're doing. You have certain advantage frames how fast you're moving. The back guard impact, sends them forward, and it stops lows and mids, and the forward guard impact stops highs and mids. I don't even think I did that. Wait. Oh, never mind. I thought I won the game already. I was like, what? This is actually going really fast. Extremely hard, isn't as hard as I thought it would be, but maybe I'm about to eat my words. Alright, and that mechanic right there is called Soul Charge, which is unfortunately a mechanic that they started to remove in later Soul Caliburs. I guess because it wasn't as usable in competitive play, although I'm not entirely sure about that. So Soul Charge is A plus B plus B plus K, so all the buttons are 1. So it's the same thing as a key charge in Tekken, but you can block in a key charge, in a Soul Charge. But the difference is that you have different levels. So like a full Soul Charge, as I did right there, is going to give my attacks different properties. So this 6-6B that I'm doing right here, if I Soul Charge all the way, I would be able to make this attack unblockable, which is really cool. And there's 3 levels of Soul Charging depending on when you cancel it. Unfortunately though, when you Soul Charge, you do become counter hit able. And if you don't know what that means, it basically means that you will take more damage and special properties from when an enemy hits you. So it's a risk-reward kind of thing. Feast or famine, that kind of thing. Your horizontal attacks are generally used for tracking opponents, and they're generally faster than the vertical attacks. The vertical attacks are stronger, but they're linear and easier to dodge. They usually do more damage, whatever. Your kick attacks are generally mid-range, and they are generally very, very quick and good at interrupting opponents when you need to, or whatever. And throws are throws. Yeah, whatever. You have 2 types of throws. You have your A throws and your B throws. Oh, there's Yoshimitsu. And there's, of course, side throws, back throws, and some characters have unique throws, like Astaroth, Nightmare has a couple. Let's see if I can do it. And the combo mechanics of this game is actually very interesting because it's not based on juggles. There's Nightmare's unique throw. Or like hit stun. Well, I guess it is hit stun. As opposed to other fighters. More so, it's just like hitting an enemy when they're stunned once, or hitting an enemy while they're in the air once. Because unlike Tekken, if you are hit in the air in this game, you will have what's called air control, where you will be able to determine the direction of where you fly in the air. Oh my god, this is really easy, actually. Yeah. And that kind of prevents from being jungled, because then you could fly out of the way of being jungled in the air. And there's also ring outs, which is pretty self-explanatory. Insta-kill, whatever. Man, I've been blasting through this so fast, I haven't even been able to explain the story of Nightmare. Holy shit. Yeah, this is the best stage, by the way. Yeah, consider wretched human. Alright, so now that's the mechanics of the game. Can I start talking about Nightmare's story and the story of Soul Calibur? Holy shit. Because usually in Tekken, I would die so much that I would be able to talk about everything in time. And now I can't. It's like, what the hell? Whatever. So while I'm here, I guess I'll talk about this. So, Soul Calibur takes place in, like, you know, not medieval, like Renaissance era Europe, or I guess around the world. And, it basically revolves around these two swords, Soul Calibur and Soul Edge. And they're, like, super powerful or whatever. These two swords are super good at being destructive, whatever. Unfortunately, well, Soul Edge is the main one, and Soul Edge, the sword that I'm using right now, the ultimate weapon, as per se, is, unfortunately, it is a cursed sword, as they say. You know, there's always a catch, there's always a fucking catch whenever there's the ultimate weapon. It's never for free, whatever. And it has a mind of its own, and the sword will slowly, like, turn you insane and make you crazy and possess you, and it's evil, whatever. And it's all about, like, a series of warriors trying to destroy the sword or trying to take the sword for their own, you know, individual needs or whatever. Good, I died, so I can keep talking about the story. Now, in the original Soul Blade, which was 2 games ago, exactly, the main character, or not the main character at the time, the main character at the time was Mitsurugi. This young German knight named Siegfried Stoffen, very cool name. Anybody named Siegfried is awesome. He was looking for the sword because he's like an adventurer or whatever, and he found the sword, and he got a bunch of power, but then it turned him crazy and the sword possessed him, and it made him this, like, crazy, you know, homicidal maniac known as Nightmare, also known as the Azure Knight, which is the character I'm playing right now. And I guess I'll explain the other parts of the story, as I play the other characters. But basically, Nightmare is the big bad of the story. Now, when I was a little kid and I played this game, I thought Nightmare was so fucking cool, and I was like, there's no way he can be a bad guy, he's too cool to be a bad guy. So I convinced myself that he was like some kind of dark anti-hero, like Batman or Guts or something. Well, I guess Batman's not really an anti-hero. Or he's like Guts or like fucking something like that, I don't know. And he's got that gross arm. And like a defining characteristic of everything that Soul Edge possesses is that they always get some kind of gross-ass arm. And they always talk about souls, because Soul Edge is like basically it's basically Frostmourne from Warcraft 3. It eats souls. It hungers for, it's like the devil, whatever. It's evil. And whoever it possesses, it wants them to get more and more souls, whatever. And it also has like this big like symbolism with big ass eyes for some reason. I don't know why. But Nightmare, like, his design in this game is the coolest he will ever look ever. Honestly, like, his design in Soul Calibur 1 and 3 are pretty good. His Soul Calibur design in 4 is really ugh. In 5 it's okay, but 4 is just the worst. That was easy. And there's all these people trying to take the sword for him because for various reasons. Raphael is not really my rival. Yeah, thanks. Man, I didn't get talked about shit because I'm already passing through it so fast. And this is, oh, what? He also has sword. So this is obviously non-canonical right here.
I've been waiting for this day for too long.
Dang, that's some large hand shit. That's a cool name for an enemy. Damn, that PS2 background. This is a cool stage, though. It's just the only infinite stage in the game. Oh, he copying my... I think that he always does that. So this is Inferno, which is... This battle does not make any sense, lore-wise, because Inferno is the soul of Soul Edge. He is the personification of Soul Edge's will. So, if I'm being possessed by Soul Edge, there's no way that I could possibly fight it. So, the point here is that during Soul Calibur 2, Nightmare, while still the bad guy, Siegfried is trying to, break free of its control, whatever. Because in Soul Calibur 1, he was defeated by Shanhua, and in Soul Calibur 2, he's still around, but he's trying to break free of its will, and that's basically what this is. What you calls it? Trying to break free of the soul's possession because it's evil and shit. Man, wow, this is really, like, extremely hard. This is super easy, Jesus. And so I forget why Soul Calibur was stuck in him the whole time. That's probably some plot shit that I missed. There you go.
Yes, this is it.
But yes, I really like the design of Soul Edge. It's a really cool sword. And then there's a choice. This happens in every character's ending. Is like you want to pick Soul Edge or Soul Calibur. Resist the evil presence, the dormant soul within him awakened. Sanity regained. He took his sword in hand and vowed to never sleep again, as he wanted the lands. Ooh, that rhymed. Wait, did it? Oh yeah. Eventually, it came upon the crevice that ran deep into the earth and cast the sword into the dark abyss. This is some great concept art, by the way. This is what Namco cared about Soul Calibur. He then destroyed the path leading to a chasm and became its guardian for eternity. Now, that's a non-canonical ending because Nightmare is still around Soul Calibur 3. And I get gold for this, right? Oh, no, I don't. Maybe I don't. And that image in the background is like the fusion of Soul Calibur and Soul Edge, and I forget why that happens. Thank you. So I guess... See, look at all these extra arcade modes. See, these are the things that, like, later, in a lot of fighting games today, with the exception of Mortal Kombat, I would guess, don't really have is, look at this, museum mode, look at this, character profile. Boom, let's go to Nightmare, and let's do that costume, why not? Yeah, 2-player in the Soul Edge. And then you got this cool, like, concept art loading screen, and then, look, you got his fucking age, his birthplace, his height. Wow, he's short. I would expect him to be tall, because he's my height, holy shit. He's only 200. Wow, I guess that's pretty heavy actually for a 5'6" guy. And like you got all this like this plot, this background. You got the stage like info. You got the voice. You got all of his voice lines in case I want to make like a funny montage mashup video that I like to do. Whatever, I can do that. You get the camera. Like it's so cool that you have stuff like this. So, anyways, I guess. Before I continue on to Kill, like I want to talk more about Siegfried's story. So this is what Siegfried looks like normally. He's a blonde guy, and he's buff, and he's got gross fucking arm growing out of him. Normally he does not have a gross arm, but that's just because he's possessed by Soul Edge, and that's what happens. He's got, you know, eye nipples, and that's just the sign we got eye nips. I mean, whatever. Yeah, so he was possessed in Soul Calibur 1. And he wanted to bring about the apocalypse, I guess, or just be like a psychotic maniac by killing everyone, taking souls, whatever. He wandered Europe, killing everybody. The biggest thing for him was that he actually had I guess like a Shinji Ikari mental breakdown, because in Soul Calibur 1 or Soul Blade, I forget, after finding Soul Edge, does he kill his father, or is it the other way around? Forget how he does this. Oh, right, I think I know what happened. Okay, so, in Soul Blade 1, I'm sorry if I get this wrong. Soul Blade, Siegfried accidentally kills his father by accident after he comes home from, like, a war or something, and Siegfried goes nuts, and he thinks that there's someone murdered him, whatever, and he's, like, trying to figure out who murdered him, and he's chasing, like, a ghost the whole time, and then he finds Soul Edge, and then he's like, if I get Soul Edge, I will be able to bring back my father to life. I'm pretty sure that's the story, and I like that because it's like, that's some deep. I don't know. It's like, you know, it's more than average for your main character, especially if a Japanese thing, plot. Because usually main characters in animes or Japanese video games are very straightforward. They're very like good, like do-gooders, kind of like generic characters. Mostly, some of them usually have like a laid-back attitude, but someone as like deep and like a dark past like Siegfried that you get every once in a while, but it's nice to have a character that has something like as the protagonist of the series. I mean, in a way, it's kind of like Cloud Strife, and as you can see, they are pretty damn similar. They're both blonde, good-looking Baishonens who use big-ass swords, who also had like a self-doubt, memory issues, psychotic nature kind of thing, whatever. Although I guess I wouldn't really call Cloud psychotic. and in Soul Calibur 1, he gathered a bunch of, like-minded bad guys to help him get souls for Soul Calibur for different reasons. This consisted of, like, Ivy, Astaroth, Lizardman, and Voldo, I think that's it. And the good guys, which is a bunch of different characters, mostly Sophitia, Cassandra, not Cassandra, Sophitia, Shanhua, Maxi, and Keelik, and Taki all fought Siegfried, and Shanhua was the one to defeat him because she was the chosen bearer of Soul Calibur, which is the antithesis to Soul Edge, which is like the spirit sword. So it's like one of those like yin yang. One of the things like one of them cancels out the other. Like the only thing that can destroy Soul Calibur is Soul Edge, and Soul Edge can only be destroyed by Soul Calibur, that kind of thing. So it's a war between the two swords, I guess. So that's why the narrator in like every Soul Calibur, he's like a tale of two swords eternally retold. And I just explained the story that happened in Soul Calibur 2. Which, of course, his story is non-canonical, although by the end of Soul Calibur 2, he does break free of his control, and Nightmare and Siegfried separate into two different characters for the entirety of the series. By the way, his fucking stage music is like one of the best songs for a fighting game I've ever heard. Like, dun 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 dun. It's so good, and this stage, I don't know about you, but like dark churches make for some of the best like level design in video games or TV shows or anything. Like stained glass, like gothic cathedral kind of thing, stained glass windows, and the big ass organ in the back. And if you actually look back there, there's actually like pews down there and stuff. I mean, of course, you fall off, you die, but it's cool. And this is the Orsteinberg Chapel, I believe. Yeah, Orsteinberg Chapel. I don't know what Ortstein means, but I know Berg means city. The broken wall of the chapel with a somber scene of the castle ruin looming in distance. The ruin is what remains of Ostermine Castle, bore witness to the clash between Soul and Soul Calibur for years. Because this place takes place 4 years after Soul Calibur 1, and the final battle in Soul Calibur 1 took place at Orsteinberg Castle, which is where this is. Yeah. And I forgot I could change him like that, whatever. And there's more to Siegfried's story, and I probably will cover that later, you know, like in other Soul Caliburs, but personally, he's my favorite character to play as because he's just interesting. He's a very interesting kind of character. He is both a mix-up character and he is both a heavy hitter, which is a strange combination of characters, especially if you were like in a 2D game. Like heavy hitters are usually slow and they're grapplers as well, and Siegfried is like, he's a tricky guy, but he's also a heavy hitter, which is weird. You don't have to play him as a tricky guy. I like to mess around with the stances because I just love stance-based characters. But he has it, and that's the cool thing about it. He has 4 stances, and I didn't even have to use any of them to beat the game. That's crazy. I just beat the game on extremely hard unless I was bullshitting it or something. He has side stance, 2 side stances, reverse side stance, reverse side stance, base stance, and chief stance, which are all really useful. B stance is probably the most useless one, but chief stance is probably the most useful. And he's good. He's got a lot of good. He's one of the better characters in this game. This is actually probably the best Siegfried has ever been in a Soul Calibur game, because as far as tier lists goes, as I recall, Siegfried usually hangs around like B tier. He's always an okay character. He's never bad. He's never great. But this game, he's probably sitting at the bottom of A, or just at least B+, which is really cool to think like a heavy hitter and one of my favorites is a good character for once. You know. I realize I've just been talking about him the whole time, and I haven't even been playing anything. I mean, fuck. I guess we could go check out that extra arcade mode or whatever. Before I head into my next character. This is gonna go by a lot faster than I thought. Or unless, you know... Because really, the only 2 characters I know to play in this whole series is really Lizardman and Siegfried. And I know a little bit of Keelik, a little bit of Maxi, and a little bit of Metsurugi. And saying a little bit is, like, stretching it. And this extra arcade mode, I'll just show you. So here you can select your weapon. And this is going to be more important for Weapon Master mode, where you can get different weapons for your characters. And they have different special effects, like more damage, like increased block time, or like increased guard break damage, or chip damage, or stuff like that, whatever. I won't really mess around with that right now. Although I suppose later games they can rectify this as having an option in regular versus mode rather than having it a mode by itself. So that's supposed to Siegfried's story up until the end of Soul Calibur 2. I know what happens in the end of Soul Calibur 2, because none of the endings are, like, exactly what does happen canonically. But what does happen, I know, is that he does fight Raphael, and he does beat him. But Raphael gets in, like, another hit, like a last strike, and he pierces Soul Edge's eye in the sword, and that causes Siegfried, like, it's like a weak spot, so this causes Siegfried to, like, go crazy, and he's able to break free of Soul Edge's will. And then I forget what happens after that. I think Soul Edge gets some will or something like that. So I guess we could go into... Oh yeah, you can play online if you want. Now, my name was only Winged Angel when I used to play Soul Calibur a lot, so nobody's gonna know who I am if I play Pepperucci Spicy on Soul Calibur.